is Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here is another episode of The Real Men of Real Estate, hosted by me, Thomas F. Chappelle Jr. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this week. Going to have a special guest that's going to be on telephone today, so I'm in the studio by myself. But basically, just to give you an output about who I am, my name is Thomas F. Chappelle Jr. I am a real estate investor here in the IE, Riverside, California, or the Inland Empire, if you will. I am the organizer of the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. The purpose of the club being called Black is I'm a black guy who hosts a club, but the club was created for minorities to give them a platform to showcase their talent, to deal with people that look like them, walk like them, and talk like them. But everybody is welcome. It's just not segregated. It's just basically just wanted to highlight that. And then I have the Real Estate Investment Club and things like that. Mostly I am a mentor / motivational speaker, so therefore I like to encourage people to find themselves and go after their dreams. That's basically what I do here on my platforms. You can reach out to me on all my social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Sometimes I put stuff on Eventbrite and things like that. If you want to ever get in contact with me, please feel free to reach out to me at area code 404-844-1828. Once again, that's area code 404-844-1828. Or you can email me, first name, last name, 33@yahoo.com. Once again, that's THOMAS, C like Charles, H like Harry, A like Apple, P like Paul, P like Paul, E like Edward, L like Larry, L like Larry, 33@yahoo.com. Also wanted to put out an invitation for those who might want to be part of the radio show and be interviewed. You know, you might have a person that's brand new, that's getting into the game, or somebody that's seasoned. Hey, please feel free to reach out to me and become a guest on the show. So basically, we're going to get into it. We're going to kind of go off a little script today with my guest that's going to be coming on the phone, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things that's pertaining to real estate. So it's not going to be a actual form, if you will. It's just going to be off cuff, off script, you know, and I think you guys will get a lot out of it, you know, understanding that the education part of real estate is the key thing to get you where you need to go. So you want to be able to get in contact with most of your clubs that are out there, whether they virtual or in person. Some of the in-person ones are the best ones because you will have contact with investors that you can sit there and just pick their brain, understand how they buy and what they buy. You also have understanding what contractors do when they come up with their numbers for the rehab portion of the properties. Then you have appraisals, escrow companies, all type of people in the industry. You want to be connected with those so that way you will be able to be educated. So when you get out on your own and do deals, you'll be knowing what you're doing, you know, or maybe find a JV partner. Okay. And just work with it. So just sit back for the next 50 minutes and enjoy what we're talking about. And if you want to learn more, you can contact me. Gave you my information, or come to my investment clubs, or go to anyone's investment clubs, or be a guest on the show. I think we're ready for our guest that's going to be on the telephone. Good afternoon.
Yes, so this must be Thomas.
This is. How you doing, sir?
Good, and you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. I do thank you for being on the show and sharing your wisdom. So we're going to kind of go a little off cuff and let you go ahead and control and go into the direction you want to go in the real estate space.
Well, first, before we do that, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Back Porch Homes. I guess you were there last night?
Yes, I was. I am a investor in Back Porch Homes. These are model homes, ADUs, if you will. That's the new trend that everybody's talking about, is doing the ADUs. Matter of fact, the governor of California is giving homeowners, you know, consumers, an opportunity to leverage their money by putting ADUs in their backyard or you can turn around and build an ADU community or a RV park or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so I understand that if you put it in your backyard, you can get up to $40,000 as a grant from the Cal HFA, which is the housing authority for Cal State of California.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, he's making it totally easy for consumers to be able to leverage their homes to make money off of. So if you're not one that's afraid of put one of these units in your backyard and renting it out versus using it for a mother-in-law quarters or for those kids that are grown that don't want to leave home but you want them to go, give them a
Oh, yeah.
space. So I mean, it's a good thing, but if you're looking to subsidize your income to where you don't have to go back to work, this is the one thing you want to do. A couple of weeks ago, I had an ADU summit at the Back Porch Homes facility, the manufacturer place, and being a pioneer to educate people on what are ADUs, how you can use them and benefit from them, and being able to know that you can get financing for them and things like that to where you don't have to spend a lot of money. These are prefab homes, so it's not like they can go in your backyard and start building and tearing up stuff. All you do is just go purchase the unit, have them drop it in your backyard if there's no alley access, and bingo, bango, boom, there you go.
Yeah, so I understand that I think your guest was that Dr. Barnes, and she was talking about actually working out a deal so you could actually buy an ADU with no money out of pocket, and they would partner with you. Is that how that works, or how is that?
Yes, there's some organizations that are looking to do that for consumers because a lot of consumers will sit back and say, well, I can't afford it. I don't know what to do with it. And like I said, the biggest thing is that um, what your governor is doing is giving you an opportunity, like I said, to subsidize your income. You want to understand what that means to you, is that you can make extra money on just on anything. So this is like tax-free money's coming in. Not to say that you have the money to go ahead and just spend, but you can be able to leave a nest egg for your family from generation to generation to generation.
So I understand that you also had a guest from Northern California, Ryan,
Yes.
who was discussing some of the new interesting options like a SB9.
Yes, and for those who don't know who Ryan O'Connell is, you need to follow him on Facebook. He's got a huge following on Facebook, and he's really into the ADU community where, like I said, the biggest thing that the governor's done is the SB9, SB10, which allows you to subdivide your backyard as long as you have enough space for setbacks for any undue scenes that come up, like the fire department need to come in the back or whatever the case may be. But he's given that leverage. And then now there's a new thing that's going on where you can take abandoned or dilapidated commercial buildings, tear them down, and put ADUs on there and create a community out of there because you already have the electrical, you already have the plumbing and the fiber optic. So a lot of companies now, with what happened with COVID, are starting to leave these commercial buildings and do everything virtual. I mean, it's kind of funny how this world has turned around and technology has taken us to a whole new level, with a lot of things that's going on, and everybody's looking at the way the economy is. We're talking about the midterm elections, which is in a couple of weeks, and figuring out which party is going to be in control and what's going to happen after that, because the biggest thing is 224 when the presidential election takes effect. So looking at all the things that's going on, that people should utilize all these different things to be able to subsidize their income, and it's a brilliant ideal to do.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things is isn't Ryan, isn't he coming down to Southern California in 2023 to talk about the new legal updates that are going to be taking place in the ADU space?
Of course, we're doing a ADU summit once again, and we're bringing people in to educate homeowners or investors or whoever else that might be interested, especially city officials. because the biggest thing is that they wanted to tackle the affordable housing projects. And the only best way to do it now, instead of, since there's not a lot of inventory and supply and demand is so far behind and it's hard to get because of the pricing, you're taking these prefab homes and you're also either putting them in your backyard or creating communities out of it. One of the biggest things that I've gotten involved in, there's a project that I'm doing in the city of Hemet where it's going to be attached to a kind of oasis. We got 4 live tigers that are actually on this property. You can go right now and have dinner with the tigers. And we're building an RV park, and we're doing these units and putting them on there. We're doing glamping. I just realized what glamping is. I didn't know what it was. It's something that's phenomenon, and I just found out there's I forgot the name of the company, but every year they do a glamping convention in Colorado. It's only in Colorado, Denver, Colorado. I'm like, wow. And it's amazing with all these different tents and how they doing this glamping thing. I mean, it is phenomenon. So it's another way that, like I said, once again, you could be able to subsidize your income based on the fact because of the way the economy is, and no one knows where the market is going to go at this point. Everybody's thinking that it might be like 2008, and for me, I feel like 2008 is gone. It's not coming back. We need to stop looking at that. I don't think that the economy is affected that bad, but with the fact is that you have a situation where, and we always had a problem with housing, and it's not for the government to do that. Their positions to uphold laws is up to the consumers to create jobs and create housing. And this is a way we can do that with affordable housing by making it easier with these prefab homes.
Well, yeah, and I think after the break, we'll end up talking about inflation and how it affects the real estate industry. But yeah, that's an interesting concept about building a RV park, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that after the break as well. But what I wanted to get back to you to talk to you about is, what do you see the housing market doing between, let's say, now and next year, with all the interest rates going crazy and all of that?
Me personally, I really think that what happens in this midterm election and what happens in 224 is really going to steer where the economy is actually going to be, because everybody's in an uproar about which party should be in office and who's going to be able to benefit that party and the consumers in this country, because the way what happened in 220, it shocked a lot of folks. No one expected the world to be shut down. I can understand, certain things happening, but the entire world shut down and people lost their minds. And now what you're talking about with unemployment, the way it is, a lot of folks are looking at it now. It's like, I need to be paid what I'm worth. So you got a lot of people that there's jobs out there. A lot of people don't want to go get them because they want to be paid what they're worth. And then you talking about inflation being the way it is. Hey, the more money they give you, the more things are going to go up because supply and demand. With all the stuff that was happening with the actual boats that was on the water, that was stuck on the water and things like that, it really took a toll on the economy, and people are like, they franticing because they don't know what to do. And now we have an out, which with all this stuff that we're doing, that we can create a lot of different types of businesses, especially people that's in the real estate space. You can create businesses out of this, taking these prefab homes and not only using them as living quarters, now you can use them as businesses, turn them into your personal business office. You can put one in your backyard, and now you got a personal business office, taxable. You can also turn them into like bodegas. If people don't understand, that's an East Coast term. It's actually a grocery, kind of like a convenience store. Then you can turn it into a salon, a barber shop, things of that nature. You can take these prefab units and do whatever you want with them and create wealth out of them.
Especially with that new law next year, where they're taking the shopping centers down and kind of replacing them with little villages, right?
Exactly.
Of these smaller homes, and they obviously need various commercial entities in order to service that area, right?
Exactly.
So, what I found interesting is the whole ADU space. And for people that don't know what ADU stands for, it's accessory dwelling unit.
Correct.
And a lot of people have an accessory dwelling unit in their backyard. They call it a granny flat or a casita, or it's a shed that they threw their kid in the back and had them camp out. It comes in all kinds of different forms, right?
Correct. Now, here's a caveat to that situation is that you can take your regular single-family home and turn it into a duplex, a triplex, and a quadplex. So now you're capitalizing on your money. You got the junior ADU, you have the ADU. You can take your actual garage and you can turn it into an accessory dwelling unit. You can build on top of your garage. So it's a lot of ways that you can capitalize. You just got to figure out what's the best scenario for you and your family as far as income's concerned. I mean, even if you didn't want to make any money off of it, you have a place where you could put your children comfortably, your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and whatnot, because now you're legalizing and turning your house in from a single family to, like I said, a duplex, quadplex, or triplex.
Okay, so let's examine that a little more thoroughly after we take these important breaks.
We'll be right back with the Real Men of Real Estate. Hold tight. Thank you.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing, and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA Producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA Producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate, hosted by me, Thomas F. Chappelle Jr. We're talking with our guest here on the phone, Ken, and we were talking about all the things necessary for the ADU, so we want to dive back into that conversation. So, Ken, go ahead and finish what your statement was before the break.
Okay, well, what I wanted to go into was more detail about how the ADU can supplement an individual family or a group of family. And then the second thing is, in this segment, I'd like to discuss the idea of the recreational vehicle market as a substitute for and using ADUs as part of that. So let's go to ADUs in general. So you were saying that if you own a home and your property is large enough, you can actually have up to 3 or 4 units. In other words, you could turn it into your home into a triplex or a fourplex.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
That's correct. It's just another way of leveraging, because the thing of it is that you can't expect, to put new wine in old wineskins. That's just a statement. But the point is that you can't expect to go back to the way things used to be. And things are changing drastically by the minute. And we're watching it do that, and a lot of people are still stuck where they used to be. And now with the opportunities to be able to leverage by turning your home into a duplex, triplex, or quadplex to create more wealth is something that is kind of unheard of in some older people's mindset, because how can I say this? It's something that's just beyond control, that's never been done before,
Yeah, what's interesting, I find, is that the younger people, the millennials and the Gen Zers, are all being told by all the real estate gurus to go out and buy multi-unit properties, buy a duplex or a fourplex. Well, they could buy a single-family residence and create their own duplex, triplex, or fourplex, right?
Yes, but if you go a little step further and leverage that, let's say, for instance, you turn around and bought the whole entire neighborhood. Don't you know, in a single-family situation, now you've created multiple triplexes and quadplexes in the whole neighborhood, to where there should not be any homeless situations anymore. Any situations with affordable housing, everybody would have a place to put, to rest their head. A lot of people are not thinking like that. They're like, okay, I buy a house here and I buy a house there, when you can take over the whole community. Why let the hedge fund guys do all this when we can take back our own communities and be able to control all the theft, everything that happens in the community? We can control it now because we own the community. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. Now, what you're saying also, too, is we're not really talking about putting together homes for homeless people. We're talking about working people that have a job but can't find a place to rent at a reasonable price, right?
Correct. And that's, with the rents going the way they are, just finding out that there's insurances that cover, for people that have no money for deposits, that the owner of the units or the management company has this type of insurance that, would take care of all that, and the person would just have to move in without having to worry about coming up with first, last, and security deposit. And it's phenomenon. It's something I never heard of before.
You're kidding me, right?
No.
So now there's a policy out there that pays the first and deposit, and the bottom line is the person can move right in, and they're covered, right? So they don't have to save up $4,000 or $5,000 to rent a property.
Exactly. So it's not like, okay, we have to go by, you have to have 3 or 4 times the income in order to come into this property. It's phenomenon, and I'm learning more and more about it. So there's a lot of product out there that a lot of people that are not aware of, and you can't be the best at what you need to be if you're not in the mix. You got to be in the mix to understand what's going on with all the things that are coming out with the new laws for SB 9, SB 10, and everything else that's coming on. You have to be in the mix. Some people don't want to deal with politics, but I tell you what, you got to know what's going on to better what you need to do.
Well, I think the big thing, though, is you got to be aware of what's going on in your local community. Because, for example, like Riverside County, a lot of people were buying properties and then putting a ADU or another unit on there, and then thinking that they're going to do an Airbnb. And it's actually against the rules or against the law in Riverside County for an Airbnb to be established.
Well, the biggest thing with Airbnb now is they're kind of fading out because during the pandemic, the hospitality industry was the only one that was hurting. And so now they're bouncing back, and you have a lot of people, instead of staying in these hotels, they're staying in these, you know,
In the Airbnb.
in the Airbnbs, and code enforcement is coming down on them folks. So now with the ADU situation, a lot of these units are HUD certified, which means they're regular stick built type homes and whatnot. They're actually homes, but they're in a smaller space. So a lot of people are starting to downsize because they don't need all that space anymore. I mean, during the pandemic, a lot of families, their kids came back home with kids, and they couldn't retire like they needed to. They had to go back to work and still had this mortgage. A lot of people are walking away from these houses because they're not affordable anymore. Where you can get these affordable housings with these ADUs, and that's the one thing that's taking over the world right now. So
yeah, and I think one of the things that a lot of people don't really take into consideration, they look at homelessness as the problem, people on the streets, but the real problem is people who work for a living and can't find a viable rental property that they can move into. And I think you kind of solved that problem with this new type of no-cost entry into rental properties.
Yeah, but you're not only talking about rental, you're also talking about being able to purchase, so you got both sides of the coin. You can use it as a rental, you can use it as, a living quarter. Now, like the facility that we have in Hemet or Sage, if you will, we're giving opportunities for folks to say, okay, I would like to put an ADU. I would like to get an ADU, but I really don't want to put it in my backyard, okay? Whether it's prefab or you build it from scratch. Well, I got an alternative for you where I have 20 acres that I can put these units on. I will take care of the maintenance on them as well as the booking for you. So here's a caveat. Hey, I'm interested in getting one of these. They're beautiful. I love them. Let's do that. Or you can take a unit, get a nice size, pickup that's got all the horsepower in the world you want. And you can go around the world and just live in the ADU and don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to worry about the taxes on it. You pay the regular DMV taxes or whatever they call them for your tags and whatnot. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of things, maintenance on the yard, especially if you live in a property or community that's got can't think of it right now, but associate fees.
Let's back up for a second, because a lot of listeners are going to sit there and say, well, wait a minute, you're talking about those people on TV, those tiny home people that build, they buy a trailer hookup, and then they get a bunch of wood and they build something, and they kind of look like the Clampets on Beverly Hills Hillbillies. We're not talking about that, right?
No, definitely no. We're not talking about that. Those days are gone. I mean, if you still stuck back in the 1950s and 1960s, I feel for you. I'm sorry, but right now, it's tiny homes has been around for decades. They used to be trailers, camping trailers. Just like with glamping. I didn't know what glamping was, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking it's, you sleeping in a tent on the ground in a sleeping bag. No, you get the same accommodations you would get if you was in a hotel settings. You get a bed, you get a dresser, you get a television, you get lights, you get all these different things.
Air conditioning, heater, the whole 9 yards.
The setup that they have in these things are like, I can't believe it. It's just like something that's unreal. It's a tent. So the thing of it is that no, we came a long way from the Beverly Hillbillies. We come a long way. I know when I was coming up.
Don't you find, though, a lot of people still think trailers are trash?
Some people do. I mean, because of the stigma,
Right.
It's just the stigma, and you associate certain things with certain demographics of people. And I'm sorry people think that way, but that's not the way of the world anymore.
I understand that you've coined the term micro mansion. What does that mean?
micro matches is another way of looking at saying, okay, instead of calling it a tiny home because it sounds, oh, it's tiny. I don't want to live in that. It's a bougie way of saying it's my own mansion, no matter what the size of it is. You don't have to look at it as something real tiny. It's something
Yeah,
for
but
you.
but the amenities that are in it, right, are a lot different.
Oh yes, I mean everything is update. Matter of fact, you can use your Siri or you can tell Google to turn on this and that. One of the fabulous things about it is that you can set your washer, I mean your washer and dryer, and the same. It's the same unit. You don't have to take clothes out of the washer and put it in the dryer. The same unit does it, and it programs to wash the clothes, and then it also programs to dry the clothes, and you can walk away, and both things will be done in the same unit. I'm like, technology is something phenomenon. You
Oh,
know?
absolutely. So yeah, no longer you got to worry about hanging your clothes out to dry on the clothesline, right?
Oh wow, dang, that's something real old. Where you pull that out the hat from?
Well, that's what when I talk to people, they say, "Oh, well, that's what like a trailer park looks like," and they obviously haven't been to any type of places that we're talking about. And one of the things I want to do is after the break is talk and spend a lot of time talking about your project over there at the Diamond Valley Lodge, the exotic luxury RV park.
All right, thank you. We'll be back with more of the Real Men of Real Estate.
FireUp Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. FireUp Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. FireUp Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate. Our guest is Ken. He's calling on the on the phone, and we're talking live on the radio. So we want to get back into what we were speaking before the break regarding the Diamond Valley League. So, Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm really excited because bottom line is I get to interview the great Thomas Chappelle Jr., who has pretty much all the answers that you may need. And we're going to talk about in the last segment. We're going to talk about the club. We're going to talk about the Black Investment Real Estate Club. But
Sure.
Right now, we're going to talk about Diamond Valley Lodge as it relates to RV parks. And so a lot of people are sitting there saying, hey, there's no money in RV parks. And, how can you make money at $10 a head? Well, guess what? We've done an investigation into the RV park market, and we find, right, Thomas, that we're looking at 20% cash flow after all expenses.
Of course. Of course, no doubt. I mean, it's a very lucrative business. I ran across one, I visit one in Hemet where they're allowing people to park their RVs there for 6 months. And then after 6 months, they can go away for a couple of days and then come back and stay another 6 months. It's a lot of retirees are doing this. They got their RVs. I mean, I seen actual small school bus that a gentleman turned it into a living quarter. I mean, it was one of the smallest school buses I've saw, that bread box they used to call them. And now he was living in one. And they also have some smaller, as they called them, cottages. They didn't call them ADUs. They called them cottages. And you can either rent or you can own one. And they were just saying once you leave the park, you would have to take the cottage with you. And then they'll turn around and place it with another one. So they have all the different amenities for it. They don't have any issues because these are older people that's just living their lives, that's either retired or, they working and just go to work and come on back to where they live at. And they don't have to worry about.
However, the park that you're talking about is actually an entertainment venue. It has a wildlife preserve with dinner with tigers. It has a bunch of other things that you could do, hiking, fishing, those kind of things. So it's for a higher end level. And when you did your investigation, I noticed that, for example, in Coachella and Michigan and other places, these are like $1 million homes on a RV site. And one of the things that I think you were putting in there was an ADU that goes with it, in addition to your space for your RV. And the rents, I think, are running somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 a night up to $500 a night, depending upon what package you pick.
Of course, yes. It's very lucrative. I mean, you just got to be able to understand it.
This isn't the $20 a night pull over on the side of the road RV park.
No, everything is well advanced and it's well up to date, and it has a lot of different amenities to
and
it.
It's behind a gate.
Well, that's true too. I mean, everything
You
is
just
private.
you can't just drive up, in the middle of the night and ring the bell.
Well,
that isn't going to work.
If you do that, you're going to be called considered trespassing. So no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, the only person you're going to get to talk to is the sheriff.
Exactly.
But it's interesting, though, that RV parks have really improved in the amenities that they have. And with the RV park, you actually have the option of either leaving your RV there or taking your RV and traveling. Or the third, which you love to talk about, which is if you don't want an ADU in your backyard, buy one of these RV sites, and you basically have the same thing, right?
Exactly. No doubt about it. Can't do nothing different about it. And
so how does that work?
Well, the thing of it is that giving you an alternative, like I had mentioned earlier, to where you want to put one of these units, you want to get one of the units, but you really don't want to put in your backyard because you got things designated that you want to stay there. You might have your sea shed or he shed or whatever you want to call it, man cave or whatever, and you don't want to have to change anything out and keep it for barbecues, maybe have a pool that you don't want to dig up or anything like that. So you want to be able to subsidize your income. So, hey, I'll get one of these units. Thomas says he have 20 acres that he can put some of these units on, and he'll manage it and book it for me, and I don't have to worry about it. That's basically how it works.
Well, yeah, and I understand that there's huge tax benefits between now and December because of how it's designed. Because basically, this particular type of ADU is classified as a motor vehicle, right, under DMV.
Correct.
So we can write off the total amount using Section 179 in the year in which we make the purchase, which would be this year, right?
Correct. Definitely. No doubt.
And I think LaToya, who's going to be your guest at the Black Inland Empire Real Estate Club meeting Wednesday, she's going to be talking about some of these last-minute tax deductions before the end of the year, right?
Correct.
In real estate.
That'll be in November on the 16th, not next week. November on the 16th.
Okay, well, I keep getting notifications, so. You keep sending out all those notifications. But, yeah, so you're going to have a tax person who's also a real estate agent on the November 16th. Then.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then don't forget December 16th, we actually have Cal HFA coming out, and they're going to be talking about the accessory dwelling units and the grant program for $40,000 plus the down payment assistance, upwards of almost $100,000 by the time you're said and done. That's going to be interesting, huh?
Oh yeah, that's going to be at a venue that we have here in Redlands that we're going to be showcasing all different types of things there. So if anybody's interested, I will be putting that on the Black Inland Empire website and posting it to all my social media information, or you can email me directly.
You can pick up the information on Eventbrite as well.
Exactly.
Now, the other thing is, I understand that you with Marie Waite are hosting a Christmas party, or you can't say Christmas anymore, right? Yeah, a holiday party on the 17th of December.
Yes, we are. We're going to be hosting it at the same location on December 17th. So you got
which
the 16th.
Is right across the street from the radio station.
Yeah, so we have December 16th and December 17th. Exactly.
So anybody can come out?
Oh, of course, anybody can come out. It's open to the public. You know?
Okay.
So it's also, giving you the type of information that you would need to equip yourself to become better than what you're doing. I mean, point is that, you want to make money to live, and you want to be able to leave a legacy. And the thing of it is that giving people opportunities to have a legacy. The more assets you have, the more rich you become. The less assets you have, the less rich you become. More money you have gives you more opportunities to spend. It doesn't make you rich. It just gives you opportunities to spend. The less money you spend, the less opportunities you have. So if you can consider having a lot of assets, and those assets turns into things that will be profitable, not just in the present, but also in the future for your family down the road. That's the best thing you can do when you're leaving a legacy. That's just it. Nothing else to add to it. So what else you got going for Ken? Talk to us.
Well, I was thinking maybe we'd go to a break, and then afterwards we can talk about the Black Investment, the Black Inland Empire Investment Club, and what you're attempting to do over there, and how people can attend, and where, and live, and online, and who the speakers are, and that kind of stuff. Would that be
Yes, we can definitely do that. So right after this break, we'll be coming back with the Real Men of Real Estate. Thank you.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Hi, this is Steve Matley. As a construction professional, I know the importance of selecting the right contractor for the job. Power Solar employs only professional installers. Power Solar will provide a knowledgeable consultant to help analyze your current electric bill, identify site placement, and correct solar technology for your home. Contact KCAA Producer at gmail.com for a free financial savings proposal with no obligation, or call 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken. Again, that's KCAA Producer at gmail.com or 951-551-1350 and ask for Ken.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate. Your host here, Thomas F. Chappelle Jr. We're coming into the home stretch, so we want to be able to finish our conversation with our guest, Ken. And we were talking about the Black Empire Real Estate Investment Club that I am the host of. So what types of questions you wanted to ask about the club?
Well, the first thing is, how come you have a 404 number?
Well, because of the thing that they have where I didn't want to deregulate my number because I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. That's why I have a 404
okay.
number.
So, well, a lot of people, they're going to see the 404 number and they're going to think, oh, my gosh, it's some sort of a scam,
No, I'm a live person. I answer my phone because I have, like I tell people, I'm very cocky, arrogant, and I love the sound of my own voice. So, yes, I like talking. That's just what it is. So I just didn't want to change my number over. So I've had it for 20 years, Then plus I have children on the East Coast in Atlanta. So,
no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, okay, so let me ask you this question. How many, who was your last guest that you had? I mean, how do you work that whole investment thing without going live? I guess that's the problem right now. I remember real estate clubs used to be live and you came and you interacted and all that.
Well, because of the pandemic, a lot of stuff changed, and a lot of people are starting to find out that doing virtual is easier than doing live because, you got to have the venue, you got to pay for the venue, and then you're hoping that enough people come so that way you can at least break even because everything is out of pocket unless you have sponsors. If you don't have sponsors, then you got to pay for everything out of pocket. Some venues, they supply food. Some venues, they don't supply food. So the thing of it is that you want to be able to give as much knowledge and information to the people that comes, but people can register. You can say you have 100 people showing up and maybe half of them show up. So doing it virtual, you can be multitasking where a mother could be at home cooking dinner, helping the kids with homework, and also listening in on the meeting at the same time and don't have to skip a beat. That a father could be at home listening and also helping the kids with homework and things like that. So you don't miss a beat. I mean, yes, easier to be live because you can tangibly talk to somebody and exchange information, but it's the same thing now. It's more conducive to a lot of people because they can do multiple things at one time.
Okay. Now my next question is that what type of guests do you have, and who's your next guest? I guess and when is it? Wednesdays?
It's every third Wednesday of the month, and you alluded to it in the last session. LaToya Tillett is an actual real estate broker, agent / tax preparer / credit restoration person / everything you can think of. She's a hustler. And the thing of it is that she's going to be talking a lot of different things come to real estate. She's doing stuff in the Dominican Republic, things of that nature. So that's what she's going to be talking about. The club is every third Wednesday of the month So it's the third Wednesday of the month. And for those that are on the East Coast, it starts at 9 p.m. For those on the West Coast, it starts at 6 p.m. And basically what we do is we do network from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then we give our guests a 2-hour window to do their presentation and to do any Q&As. And then after the meeting's over, we call it the after meeting. After meeting, basically, we ask the people that remain, what did they get out of the presentation? And then they tell us what they got out of it and how they're going to use it in their regular lives from this point forward. And then after that, we ask people, do they have any issues with structuring deals? And if they do, we help them to break it down to a microscience so they can get that deal, because maybe the strategy they used before is not working and somebody else might have a better idea so they can utilize that strategy. And then the last thing we ask before we get off is that, do anybody see any different things in inventory? What are they looking for? What's hot? What's not hot? What they might be thinking about doing or whatever the case may be. So say, for instance, somebody was doing stick builds, but they can't find any stick builds, so they might go to a mobile home or go to an ADU or whatever, and we just talk about those different things. So,
okay, well, that brings up an interesting point, is you have this guy that's called the Wizard of Wobbly Boxes.
Yes.
That was one of what's that all about? Andy
Teasley is the Wizard of Wobbly Boxes. If anyone don't know who Andy Teasley here in California is, you need to know him. He read a book from Lonnie Scruggs called Wheels on Deals, and that's what he buys, nothing but straight mobile homes out of mobile home parks. And he leveraged those mobile homes by doing notes out of him, and he does lease options with them and different things like that. So he's also a fantastic teacher when it comes to the financial calculator. He does a class, a 2-day class. Friday on Saturdays, he does the financial calculator all day, teaches you how to use a financial calculator. If you don't understand or know what the financial calculator is, it doesn't work just on real estate. It works on anything that you do.
And then you also had a Bill Tan, who's like one of the what would we call him, one of the old timers in the real estate flipping business.
Well, both of them are. They both are. They both learn from the gurus like Jimmy Napier and Jack Miller. Then you got Pete Fortunato. So both these gentlemen learned. Bill Tan only teaches the financial calculator. He's got a real estate investment club that he does every second Wednesday of the month. And then, like I said, Andy Teasley's part of the Inland Empire. He does the Exchangers meeting every Thursday. Is live or is it virtual? Either one. We're getting close to the stretch, so we're going to have to get ready to take a...
We're getting ready to close out. So the last thing is, how do they get a hold of you and talk to you and maybe get some counseling to move their real estate business forward?
Okay. As I stated earlier, you can follow me on all my social medias. You can reach out to me on telephone, email, text.
They should call you at 404 what?
844-1828. So please continue to listen to us. I will be back next month. I have my guest, will be Anicia. Okay? So continue to support the Real Men of Real Estate. You guys have a wonderful day. Catch you next time.
Hey, take care. Bye-bye.
A journey of